We're good.
And we're live. We're here. We made it. Like sound, audio, visual, everything's going good this week. So I'm very excited. This is week number 9. Can you believe it? We've added a new twist. We're going to, again, we've talked about how this is a very organic process and we're evolving and changing and trying and experimenting. So we are going to do a little different type of approach in our segment today. A couple of weeks ago, those of you that join us every week, welcome back. It's Mauricio. I'm sure you'll probably get to see some of the comments while I'm doing this part. But a couple of weeks ago, we had on our show, we had the International Man of Memory, Chester Santos. He is a coach who helps you improve the way that you remember things. And we said we're going to have a few other guests coming in and out. Sometimes we'll have it one week. We're just going with it, however it works out. But we are in the process of booking different guests. And we have someone very special for you today. But I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. Last week, we talked about the best coaches always have the best coaches. So that led me down this little rabbit hole. And Mauricio and I have talked about it. Like, who are the best coaches that we know that we can bring on the show so that we can highlight the work that they do and we can refer people. So we are very excited. I know that I can speak for you, but we are really excited because we have one of our Bay Area's best. She's a dear friend of mine and yours, Mauricio. So we're kind of having like this reunion of souls tonight, and I'm really excited. I'm Carmen Milagro. I'm a confidence strategist. I'm a CBD educator. I'm an entrepreneur artist. And once upon a time, 13 years ago, I was a behavioral coach. For those that have been wondering, where did I get my experience? And as always, Mauricio Mejia shares the screen with me each week. And he is one of Silicon Valley's most celebrated and certainly not shy, but he's one of the most celebrated entrepreneurs, and he's a coach and a speaker, and he's an author. And take it away, Mauricio. Tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
Thank you. I'm always excited. I always feel like this is show number 1. It doesn't feel like we're show number 9. I mean, it's just crazy how time keeps going with us. So I want to welcome everyone back. As I'm starting to also get very comfortable with our show, and I'm starting to see that it's growing. And now that we're bringing on guests, that even makes it just a lot more exciting because we get to interact with others as well. So this person I've known, we just were talking backstage, and I haven't seen her or probably had any. I mean, we probably had communication in passing, but I haven't physically seen her in 20 years. So, and to me, it feels like it's just yesterday because she still looks amazing. She looks like she did 20 years ago, and I know her other half very well. A very talented human being, probably one of the top designers. Prop designers here in the Bay Area, if not across the nation. So it's super great to see what Moni's doing and to know what Tony's been doing. And I'm just happy to have her here on our show. Thank you. I completely out of left field on that one. So I'm excited to hear about her successes and where she's going, and to see how we can all come together, help her grow her business and take it to the next level as well. So very excited to see this and what we're going to be talking with her. So it's going to be good.
Yep. We're adding this segment that I'm calling, for all intents and purposes, a working title right now. We'll see what happens, but we're calling it Confidently Sharing the Spotlight. So what we wanted to do right from the beginning, there's a few things, but one of the things is that we want to feature coaches and mentors on this show who come from all kinds of backgrounds. Right? So some are experience-based coaches. Others started professionally coaching way back in the day, before it was even an industry of coaching, which right now there's a lot of coaches out there, but we want to feature all combinations so our viewers can learn from in our show, right? They can tune in, they can watch the replay, they can learn about different types of coaches and what they're doing, and then they could choose if they're ready, if they're on the fence about working with a coach, if they're not sure what type of coach they need. These are all the things that this is going to help, in that decision-making process. So today's guest is someone very special, as we mentioned. She's done the work as a co-founder of a successful business. So she's coming from that place. She helped build it from the ground up. And she is also now in the business of helping women on their journey into becoming successful businesswomen. She's helping them to lay the foundation for what they need to do next.
Nice.
And we would like to welcome, and Mauricio, I'm going to let you do the official welcome, and I'm going to bring her on.
So we're bringing Moni, right? The founder. Wow. We were just saying behind the scenes, haven't seen and talked to you in a long time. And then all of a sudden we're talking about the founder of Moni Lane, your business, talking about all the different things that you've done and your successes, and just excited to have you on board with us. I mean, I think that I'm actually going to listen here because I want to learn from your perspective. So I know, seriously, I learn every day something new. So I'm very I'm open and vulnerable to say that, hey, I don't know everything, and I learn something new every day. So I'm very excited to hear, your path. I haven't seen you in 20 years. I mean, hello, you still look like I just seen you yesterday. So it's amazing.
Too. You don't look like you aged at all.
I use good creams. I like to take care of myself.
The millionaire mindset, the best creams, right, Carmen?
There you go. Yeah. So anyhow, let's get started. Carmen, I see that. A couple of things. We're going to follow our plan here. There's a couple of questions, but really, Moni, why don't you give us kind of like catching up? Tell us what you've been up to and where you're at and where you plan to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, welcome everybody. I go by Moni, but it's Monique Marie at Moni Lane. And really, like Carmen said, my story starts with, laying the foundation as a business owner with my partner. And I just felt compelled after that, after everything I went through, that I needed to share my story with other female business owners and to help guide them through what they might need help with. Because I know what I went through, I needed a lot of help. And there was times where I felt alone. There was times when I was just like completely confused. There was just so many roller coaster emotions that I felt like I have something to offer future lady bosses. And that's what I'm trying to do, help them out.
Oh, yeah. Not only that, but sometimes you feel like you want to quit, and you don't want to get out of bed. There's been moments where I felt that I'm laying there and I'm like, an hour passes by and I'm like, I need to get up. And my mind is saying, get up. But my body's like, no, you're not getting up. And then you have to build that little momentum and then just wake you up and then boom, you're up. So, yeah. So, one of the things we want to do, we have a couple of questions that we want to ask because we want to address, kind of really hone in on your stuff. So first question is, what do you do as a coach and what type of coaching is it that you do? So, the audience can understand what it is, that your focus, your niche.
Yeah, so I come from experience, really. I really learned a lot. And personally, I come from doing, hi, Veronica. So personally, I come from what I went through and the things that helped me get through those times where I just didn't want to get up, or those times where I wanted to give up, or those times where I just felt lost. So I really just guide women through a process called Dream, Plan, Succeed. And dreaming is a meditation type work where you go back and you visit like those times where you're really not comfortable with yourself, those times that were really hard for you. And you have to get rid of those blocks. That was my very first thing that I realized, like when I started my business.
And really quick is there's 3 pointers. What are your 3 pointers again? So that people.
Sure.
Number one is
plan, succeed.
Dream, plan, succeed. Great. Okay. So dream, plan, succeed. I get it. All right. Cool.
Exactly.
All right.
Really just dreaming is, going back to those times, getting rid of those blocks, really honing in on who you are, understanding what your strengths are and what you have to offer the world. And this is all stuff I had to do by myself. I didn't really talk to anybody. I was just like, okay, I'm starting a business. Oh my God, I'm starting a business. Oh, Yeah, I'm asking somebody to do this. I'm starting a business. I need to get my stuff together.
Yeah, or hey, I got a check from my business, like my first, payment, like that. That's
Yes.
a win, and
Yes.
that's a big. I remember my first check, and I was like, "Whoa, this is real! Like this
Mm-hmm.
is real."
Yep.
So I mean that
I think I pinched myself up until last year, and it's been about 8 years now. And I
wow,
still was, yeah, up to like 7 years, I was still kind of like, I have a business. And it's weird because you have it and you stand a certain way, but then you feel like you're still like striving, you're still going for it. You're still going for more. You're still learning. And I think that's just the entrepreneur way. I think we're always going to want to learn and keep growing.
right.
But I finally have dug my heels in and said, I am a business owner. So I'm starting to put my roots down.
Powerful, powerful. Tony Robbins says, if you're not growing, you're dying. And
Mm-hmm.
that's something that's very dear to me. And in the past that I've taken as a businessman and as an entrepreneur, starting from a very young age. When I met you 20 years ago, I was a baby. No, but I was always an entrepreneur, and I always just knew that I was always growing and going after more and more and more. So, we understand, the community understands, is watching the entrepreneur spirit. You got to feed it, and if you don't feed it and grow, it dies, it withers. Like your sunflower in the back. If you don't water it, it'll die, and it'll wilt and die. So you got to nurture it and take care of it. So
Absolutely.
we're like little sunflowers, we have to pour waters and nurture.
Well, we're basically all flowers with just more emotions and attitude.
No, exactly.
Sunflower, Mauricio.
So then, question number 2: who is your target client and why?
Target client would be a lady who's like just starting her business or has had a business in the past and she's ready to pivot into something new. The reason why I like to work with women who are already been into business is that they've already committed to the time, they've committed to kind of the roller coaster that I spoke about, and they're really wanting to, just live in creativity. And I absolutely love that being an entrepreneur, you're allowed to live in your creativity. I think that's like the best gift in the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And if a lady boss can like appreciate that that's what her reward is and that's what she keeps striving for, then I'm 100% behind her and ready to help her.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I agree with you 100%. Let me ask you, would you be opposed to coaching a man? If a man, heard you or learned that you were a coach, would you be open to doing that?
Of course, I'm here to help everyone, but it's just because my story is, from a female's perspective.
Right.
It's a little bit more feminine. My approach is a little bit more feminine. My ideas are a little bit more like, a little bit more woo woo and things of that nature. So, but I'm up to helping gentlemen too.
That's okay, because sometimes men need to tap into their feminine side and their vulnerable side. I have no problem ever listening, because again, like I've just mentioned, I'm always open to learning. Carmen and I, the reason why we have this show, trust me, we're not seeing eye to eye all the time. There's different perspectives here, and that's why it's the yin and the yang. It makes a great partnership here in what we're doing. So what she may say, I may look at differently, because we have two different perspectives. We've run similar parallels in the industry, and you've tapped into the industry that we've all kind of, the hospitality industry, as well as part of your other life. So, but your perspective is always, it's something that, even I would want to learn, kind of see, how do you see things, and you have a lot of other, different, you live in the city, and you've traveled and you've done a lot of, you've been exposed to a lot of things. So cool.
Well, and I think what's beautiful about this, though, is the fact that we have women tuning into your show and your teaching methods. We have women tuning into our show here on Tuesday nights, but we also have that opportunity for women to hear, some women have never sat at a table in a boardroom with any men. Mm-hmm. They don't know what language, what body, what just the different energy.
Yeah.
And conversely, the other side of the coin is that I know that if I were just doing this show by myself, we probably would not have as many men watching, because they are mostly probably tuning into the fact that there's two of us, two different perspectives. They know, many of our viewers know who Mauricio is. But what's beautiful about that is that they get to listen to how we as women, express ourselves, where we come from and why. And what I find that's really interesting is that I think we're building these bridges and this commonality that, like, Mauricio and I are still surprised. No, we don't agree 100% on everything all the time. But
like brother and sister over here.
But we also have discovered that we actually are really, really similar, much more so than you ever would have imagined. And so I think there's something to be said for focusing on what we all have in common. But as a coach, I think people would want to know, which leads me to question number 3. I'm going to field that question now, is when people are looking for coaches, when they're looking for someone that they are trying to connect with, what is it about your style and your approach that makes you different from other coaches? Because there's a variety of different styles amongst women coaches too. So you're looking to work with women, but what is going to attract a woman client to you, generally speaking?
Yeah. Well, I would say it's probably more of the just self-reflection, definitely like the mirror effect. That's what I really like about what I've done with what I've done in my past, just really looking at myself, just being very aware, just learning, all of my good traits, my bad traits, being able to bring out those blocks and starting anew. And a lot of journal work. A lot of people don't really get into the journal, but I feel like the journal is such a huge part of my process, is because it can be like a mentor. It could be your therapist. It can be, your confidant. And I feel if you're able to, put everything into that journal, you'll reflect in it so many ways. So yeah, just like a lot of self-awareness is what I like to bring to the table.
Well, and sorry, go ahead, Mauricio.
No. I was just going to say, Moni, I completely agree. When I wrote my book, it took me 2 years to write my book. And my first draft was it was very intense. It was very raw. It's smoke and mirrors. It's nightlife. It's what I went growing up as a child into, that my successes. And then, but what I realized is that after I read, I reflected, I went through the therapy of it, but then I knew I couldn't put this out, because I'm like, once it's out, it's out. And not to say that I edited it so bad, but I didn't want, I wanted, it was my journal. It was my reflection. I looked in and I said, okay, I have version 1 that's been put away, and now version 2 with all the edits and all that, which I felt it was appropriate for the audience. When we produce the movie, it'll have all the fun glitz and glamour stuff. But right now, and we're going to need some props, by the way, so we'll be coming to you.
You got it.
But yeah, no, it's definitely, I get what you're saying. When you pen to paper,
yes,
there's nothing like that. Even when it comes to sketching ideas, I mean, it
just really clicked for me. So I felt like that's something that I really would love to bring to people, because a lot of times we do look for others for help. We're always wondering, like, can you help me? Can you tell me this? Can you tell me that? But really, we have a lot of the answers within ourselves. We just have to give ourselves time to find that answer. And I like to help people realize that, because I can be there for you for, months on end, but really the answer that you're truly, truly seeking is within yourself. That's what I found from the work that I did with myself.
Yeah. Wow.
I love it. That's really profound. Thank you. I had another question in mind, but listening to you, something sort of has come up with me, because what you're describing and the level of the businesswoman that you're working with really resonates with the work that I do. So it's very similar. Now, one would think that because we're so similar, that why did she have her on the show? Well, I know you well enough to know that there is no competition between us, that we come from a place of abundance and trying to help people. So when you do that, like there is no scarcity, but not everyone's like that.
Right.
Have you encountered sort of, the naysayers and the people who write negative things? And if you have encountered it, if you haven't, that's wonderful. That's great. But if you have, how do you deal with that? Because from my perspective, I think of people, if you're attacking, it's because you're lacking. You're lacking confidence. You're lacking a lot of different tools that as a coach or another mentor that you should have. If you're attacking, you're lacking intelligence, because if you're attacking someone else and you're questioning their background or what their style or their words, their presentation, then to me, you haven't really taken the time. You're not smart enough to say, well, wait a minute. I'm doing something similar, but we all have different experiences. And if you're attacking, you're coming from a place of scarcity. That's my opinion. That's my viewpoint. But I'm just wondering how you see that situation and if you've encountered it.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't personally encountered it myself, but I would agree that if you are attacking, maybe there's something that's really deep inside that you might need a little bit more than what I can do. Maybe that's at another level that I'm not able to bring out for them just at this time. And if someone feels that, oh, it's all a bunch of, woo-woo hogwash, then that's totally fine.
Right.
We're all entitled to have our own opinions. And that's why there's so many of us there, because you can have your choice. It's just like going shopping. You've got 5 different flavors of ice cream you can get. You got 5 different, pairs of shoes you can buy. You go with what works for you. And that's just my attitude. I mean, as much as I would love to help those who feel that way, I can't, because they already have their mindset to where that's not going to work for them. And
Exactly.
That's definitely somebody that I would say, okay, maybe you just keep looking and you'll find the person that you're able to communicate with and works for you.
That's right.
Yes, Veronica, that's right. Don't pay it no mind.
I think sometimes the best way to do it is just I put out a video not too long ago about hating, people that hate, that just, it's not about you, it's about them. It's something that they need to personally reflect on and they need to really deal with. It's unfortunate because as we all grow in our lane and we become successful, those that get frustrated with their own frustration or their own failures, to me, is not failure is just a part of the process to get to success.
Yep.
So because they're not making it quick enough, they get frustrated and things come out of their mouths that sometimes you can't take it back once it goes out. So I think that it's just part of, today I had a perfect example. Somebody just kept choo, 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 and I'm like, one of my mentors, very deep mentors, told me, hey, Mauricio, if a dog barks at you, do you bark back? Now, silly, right? Because no, you're not going to go. But I said, but no, this is like a chihuahua nibbling at my heel right now. Like I need to get it off already. And it just, but there's just some people they can't let it go. So they keep holding on and there's just some inner destruction that they just need to feel that they need to let out. So,
right.
But
yeah. I see that Maggie has commented and she says, if you're attacking, it's insecurities.
Absolutely. 100%. 100%. It's a lack of confidence. It's lack of knowledge too. People sometimes it's the lack of just being exposed to things. So part of it is ignorance. Part of it is insecurities. Part of it just lack of, and that's just people have. It's all about timing. People have to go through their growths and all that. So,
yes.
But anyhow.
Do you have another? Yeah, exactly.
I was gonna go right into it. Obviously, we're all somehow mentoring others and coaching others and building businesses. With you, how many coaches do you have or mentors in your life that continue to help you grow? You started by yourself, because of your life experiences, and I think that we all have that in common. That we really want to just make an impact and share our life experiences. You know, how many people have been impacted, or do you look to so that you can get this this encouragement or this push, this lift?
You would be surprised. I actually started Moni Lane because I was alone. And the very, very first idea for Moni Lane was to just start a women's circle. Just start a women's circle. Very simple. I'm like, I need friends. I need women who are in business. I need women who are going through this, because I need to have a open dialogue with them so they can really give me some pointers. I can give them some pointers. And, you know, I'm still in touch with those ladies to today, but it really was because I just wanted to build a community of lady bosses that I can just confide in, and also confide in me. And then we can just kind of share what we've been through. And also, it's nice to talk to someone who's been through it, because you also kind of realize what you've learned and what you've done. You
Right.
know, because when you're not, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love my girlfriends. But if they don't own a business, they don't know. Yeah. Hey, girl, I love you, girl. But if they don't own a
The
business,
claws are coming out right now. I can already see it.
but
Oh,
if
you
they
think
don't own
you
a
think you're better than me now?
business,
What, girl? You know, you.
oh
I'm
my
just
God.
saying, you know.
And they just can't relate. They
Right.
don't understand why you just
Exactly.
work 20 hours and then you're up in 3 hours to go back at it again. It's just, you just can't relate. And if you don't have that common ground, it does create some distance. I agree.
Yeah. So that's really like the very, very beginning of Moni Lane, was just like, I need some business babes to hang out with. And so that was really where it all began. And to this day, I'm still friends with a lot of the ladies. I still communicate with them. We still uplift each other. And, you know, and then there's the ladies in my Diamond Discovery group, where I'm doing the, you know, Braving the New Normal, the Dream Plan Succeed process with them. But it really was like, I need some business babes to hang out with.
I love that. I wish I could say like, hey, I need some business dudes or babes to hang on. For us, it's like we're hanging out with the boys, you know, and all that good stuff, or you know, like guy stuff, you know, like go. But I like the fact that you said, and I'm going to be honest right now. For the last couple of I'm going to say the last couple of months, and let's just say starting from the beginning of the year, a lot of my inspiration, a lot of my motivation, and my drive has been lifted by women. One starting from my mom. I had to reflect and go back to, I grew up with a single mom. So for me, I'm doing it because my mom did a lot for us. And so I clicked those switches back on. There's been a couple of people that I started to work with and establish and really build some relationships. Some people are here. Melissa Bentz is in here. I've been working with Elizabeth Diaz with Juicalize. There's, you know, with Carmen and Veronica. So right now I'm like just surrounded by female, but female that want to grow. And there's a lot of other people as well that you know, like, for example, my book, it wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for Shireen Rivera to be a part of my, you know, help me out. And then to grow to the next level, Chandra Brooks, and then Kristen Andrus, who works with Stedman Graham. So I haven't mentioned any guys right now, and all I've seen right now is that I've been lifted, and I appreciate that because I can relate too. Now, what I do in return, though, is that then I give the male perspective and that aggressive, behind the scenes, that male that what people say is male dominated, which it can be, but I've never really seen that because I've always been a boss of my own company, and I've always had a team of diverse people in there. So for me, it feels good because I've always felt that when you kept a diverse team or a separate, you know, whole open-mindedness, that you just get all the different perspectives. So I love what I'm watching, what I'm hearing, listening, what I'm learning to, and I'm just, all it does is just continue to validate that the path that I'm going for myself as an entrepreneur, multiple businesses, all the different things that we're working on, I'm on the right path. So I'm not going to say that behind every, I'm going to phrase it this way.
No, go ahead, say it.
Behind every strong man is plenty of strong women that support, because for me, it's, I rely on all of you guys to continue to push and support, because And right now I'm outnumbered. I'm looking even at our comments. I'm like, there's like one guy in here and all females. I'm like, all right.
And we're going to give props to you as well, because a wise man does surround himself with really strong women. I mean, this
and
is
I'm not going to argue that. I'm not going to disagree. I'm going to agree with you guys. I love it. So
we're changing the dynamic of diversity and inclusiveness, because this is a start. And having these conversations is really fantastic. But we have someone that has a question for you.
Yeah.
I just lost it, Moni. Hold on one second. And there we go. It's from Veronica.
Oh, nice.
What has been your biggest challenge during the growth of your business? That's a great question.
That is. That's a loaded one, because there's a few. But the biggest challenge, let me think. I think just really expanding and being comfortable with taking on more. Because we're a mom and pop. So you look at us and we wear all the hats, it was like, I wear like 6 hats. Tony wears 5, and that's what it was. So it was really like, we wanted it. How are we going to do this? Are we really ready for this? And, and you think you have to go out there and get it. You think you have to be pushing hard to make that. It just happened organically. And when it came to us, we were like, okay, we're ready, but it was like, do we really want to take this much on? I wish I had a paper so I could show you guys when the change happened. So we were just going through our stuff, and in like 1 year we had like 5 projects, it was like February through June, 5 projects. And then we found another paper, and it was October to February, and it was like 40 projects. And he was like, look at this thing. This is when it changed. This is when we made the change. And I was like, yeah, that's crazy, to like look back and see that. But it was like, we really had to talk to each other. Like, do we really want to take this much on? Are we ready?
What was the, if you can pinpoint it, what do you think was the change? What caused that exponential growth? Because I know I've tracked mine, so I know that again it goes back to dedication. For me, it's a mantra. It's decide, commit, execute. And I repeat that, and I stay very consistent. And then it's just a matter of time before all of a sudden, just boom, it just goes.
The tick, yeah.
And I saw that. I mean, I remember Tony when he was doing stuff for our nightclubs. I mean, it was like very minimal, but he always stayed consistent.
Yes.
And then when you guys met, I just remember the magic, just the support and the yin and yang just kind of came together with you guys. And
yes.
We're not going to say it's perfect. We don't know the behind the scenes, but I know that the stuff that you guys have touched, only people can't even imagine or wonder, because you guys are part of like that, almost like that Disneyland world. You guys, you think it, dream it, and create it.
Yes.
You really do. I mean, I could come up with the most silliest idea, and okay, I'll be back. And all of a sudden, right here, they're like, whoa.
Let's expound on that a little bit, because we've been talking about Moni Lane, the work that you've been doing and coaching other women. But for those, we know eventually events and all of that is going to come back. We're going to figure out, we're all a part of it. We're all in it. We're going to figure out a way to make it come back. Absolutely. But for those that don't know your other business, can you just give us like a quick 30-second, this is what you
you see that sunflower back there? My company can make that sunflower like 10 feet tall. That's what we do. We make big stuff. Yeah. Anything you want.
It's styrofoam sculptures, right? Mm-hmm. Basically.
Yeah.
Or everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever seen when they sculpture, the guy brings out a chainsaw? It's like chainsawing foam. You're like, really? That's sculpting? Like, it reminds like Edward Scissorhand kind of stuff.
Yep,
just
it is that.
So crazy that it takes a mindset, a creative mindset to visualize a piece of foam and not mess it up, and really when it comes out, it's just like, wow, that is beautiful. That's art. Yep. It's art.
Yeah, it's art. Absolutely.
I wanted to ask you, if people wanted to connect with you, Moni, how can they reach out to you? Is there a website for you? Is there is there a way to really, through your social medias, and is it just, do you have two? Because I think at this point, take advantage of the fact, talk about your personal Moni Lane, and then talk about your other business. Because, I've always believed that if you want to juggle multiple businesses, you got to take advantage of the opportunities here. So, yeah, you got to go for it,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, well, we'll start with Moni Lane because that's what this is about tonight. So you can reach me on my website, monilane.com. All my handles are at Hey Moni Lane for Instagram and Facebook. You can find me on those two. And then you can also join my Diamond Discovery group, where we're doing weekly Monday motivations, and, just topics on confidence, on growing your business, on what you should be doing, and just, really creating that lady boss culture where we're all together in this.
I definitely have a project that I'm going to hit you guys up with the people that are in here right now. With Melissa in here, I'd love to see it. They have this beautiful logo for their brand. I think it'd be awesome to see like this big, like gigantic logo of their stuff. And I know you guys could create it. So we're gonna send some business your way.
I love it.
Yeah.
But
and the strong women.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to throw that one in there. It's just just like, my one that's been around for the longest. And sometimes when people ask certain questions, that's like, that one was the
No, but that's what this is all about. We're about not just putting the spotlight on coaches, but also sharing our resources. No, this is exactly and this is why we love the organic process, because these nuggets come out, and you just never know who's on right now. You never know who's going to watch it in replay. And I was going to ask you, Moni, if you could afterwards in the thread, if you could put all your information, out there for everything that you do, that's the place to do it. We have an incredible, very creative community behind us, and all different walks of life, all sorts of different people that are looking for different things. And that's what Mauricio and I set out to do, is to share our network of amazing, incredible people that we know. Between the two of us, we know a lot of people.
Yeah.
But also, but also the resources and the networking, and then also the different coaches. I mean, that's it. We're trying to be that place where we can funnel information to those that need it. And those that watch us every week are the ones that are going to get the first-hand information right off the bat. And those that watch us later and, they take time later on, then they'll be able to see it too. But that's what this is all about. So no apologies necessary. And I know that we're taking up a little bit more of your time, but I did have one more question for you about Moni Lane, which I think is really sort of encapsulating what you do. When they work with you, when someone comes to you, if anyone here is saying, oh my gosh, she sounds like my kind of coach, I'm at this place. What is the effect of, how are they impacted? How is their self-esteem? How is their confidence level impacted by the work and the steps that you do?
Definitely, I would say it's definitely going to be raised. You're definitely going to be feeling more confident. You're going to definitely walk into any situation knowing that you can conquer it. You're not going to be feeling that you're lacking anything. I'm just really here to support and just let you know that you've got support and you can do this. And look at yourself, look at me, look at the other ladies that I've met in my circle, and I bring them all together and just connect them and let them know, like, look, we all can do this together. You have nothing to worry about.
I love it. I love the fact that you are uplifting and that you are positively impacting women and that you're supporting women and you're not in competition. That to me is a big one.
Absolutely.
Because I can't stand it when women tear each other down. And I would say, and maybe I'm wrong, Mauricio, but I would say more than likely women tend to do that a lot more than men do. I don't know. What do you think, Mauricio?
I got my fair share of haters out there. It's okay. I'm it's my thing is just I have a different version of dealing with it at times. I like to face the fire head on when it surfaces, because I like to shut them down with facts. Facts to me will always will always neutralize. But then there's also people that want to continue confrontation because the facts just, they can't accept the facts. The truth hurts. So for me, hey, it is what it is. I welcome it because it also fuels me to continue to move forward. If you don't have people talking about you, then you must not be, you're not doing something. So for me, I welcome it, and it is what it is. Some of it, maybe whatever. Just I got Teflon. I always tell. I'm like I got samurai shield on me. I pack light, and I'm focused. And
Very good.
Being in the nightlife industry for the many years that I had, you're only as good as your last party. Because everybody was a critic. Everyone. I'm like, if you want to do, if you think you can do it better, then hey, go right ahead. I welcome it. So, anyways. Like Veronica says, ignore and move on. Hey, that's right. Ignore and move on, because if you start fueling it, then sometimes you might just say something that just sparks even more problems. And it just is what it is. So.
Yep, I agree. Got to be a duck. If you're an entrepreneur, you got to be part duck. You just let it roll.
Oh, never. Actually, I'll disagree with you on that. See how I disagree with you 100%. I don't want to kick it with the ducks. I want to fly with the eagles, baby. So.
You just let it roll off your back.
No. Okay, I like that one. All right. So now in context, you're right. There you go. See, I cut you off because I was like, no. I want to soar with the eagles, and I want. There's a great video. T.D. Jakes, great pastor that has blog, and he talks about the eagles, and he talks about just some amazing stuff about eagles, and that story just really resonates with me. So you guys I'll look it up and I'll post it in the post.
Oh, please do. And speaking of, now you triggered something else too. I would love to have Pastor. Is it Scott? Wait.
Scott.
Yeah, I would love to have him on the show too.
He's an amazing human being. We're big advocates of the homeless community here in San Jose, and that's really where I want to push not all my efforts, but I want to make an impact in that, because it's here, it's in our face, we see it. Yeah. We drive in freeways and we see our freeways look like battlefields. I mean, just our streets look like, and it's just because people need help. So
right. And same thing in San Francisco, we see it quite a lot. And so I was thinking this would be a great format too, but I don't want to stray too much. And I really want to say, thank you, Moni, for we're almost at 45 minutes, and I know that your time is valuable. Tony's probably waiting. And
yeah.
But before
Tony's creating right now.
Before you sign off, I would love to just get, I know that you have this process of dream, plan, and succeed. What would your parting words, everyone, thank you again, everyone also for commenting and participating. We had really good engagement today, and I think that's all due to you. So what would your parting words of wisdom for everyone watching and everyone in the future, what would you like to leave them with?
I just want to leave you guys with, first, thank you guys so much for having me. This is really fun catching up with you, Mauricio and Carmen. I love you both so much. Thank you for having me. And I want to leave everyone with this. Just know that you're full of magic and that you have so much to give the world, and to live in your creativity is the best gift. So go for it.
You just gave me chills.
Beautiful. No, I made a post a little while ago about creative. I was, again, today's just been an amazing day. I'm excited. I'm just, there's so much. I just can't, it's just been, even during these crazy times, we just got to pull it all together as human beings. We got to find that human kindness within us, because there's just so much pain and hurt out there. I can get emotional about it. I just think right now we got to give a lot of love to people. We got to give a lot of hugs, and we just got to remind ourselves that, we got to love ourselves first, and then be able to give that love out to others, so that it's authentic, it's genuine, and people can actually feel it. So, and what you're doing is what in Moni Lane and in your other business, you can see the love, you can feel the love, because If not, you wouldn't be where you're at. So
Yeah.
it's good. Amazing. Thank you for being here with us. I love you too. Thank you. And I hope that I don't have to see you in the next 20 years because, when things open up again, I'm definitely coming up to the city and we're hanging out. So
that'd be great.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, that'll be really fun.
All
I can't wait.
4 of us. We'll even include Tony. All 4 of us.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
We'll let them come. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. And everyone else, this was really great. Maggie, I love what you say here. When you help others, you help yourself grow even more. That is what we're trying to do here, is we're trying to thrive together. That's the whole premise. As you saw today, there's 2 of us hosting. We've got 2 different styles. We've got 2 different viewpoints and perspectives. We don't always agree. We might cut each other off every once in a while. But at the end of the day, we have a lot more in common between the 2 of us, but also with everyone else. This isn't a competition. We're not competing against other lives. We're not competing against other coaches. For me, that's not how I walk through the world. Now, we can't help what other people think and do, beyond our control. And we are going to be like ducks and let it roll off our backs.
All right. Yeah. Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to be flying with the Eagles. All right. So I'll catch you. I'll let them try to catch up to you. But again, I want to echo what you said. I want to thank people that joined us today. I saw a friend of mine, actually a good friend of mine, Richard Ozuna, that jumped in and he addressed while we were talking about the inspiration of women. He said, it's my life, my mom, my wife, and my daughters and sisters that have inspired him. So, and he's a Gemini like me, and we were friends from a long time. We still are friends, but it's just great to see that, and I love the fact that we had a lot of people interact. So anyhow, yeah,
it was really great. And you know what? Before we let you go, we do have some other extraordinary level coaches for our upcoming shows. I'm just putting the dates on that together, and we're gonna reach out to Pastor Scott. But we've got Veronica Penagos. Did I say that right? Oh my gosh, she's an executive level coach. We've got Tony Too Cool Coleman. He's a drum coach who who played with B.B. King for over 32 years. I've got he's incredible, and he's funny, and he's entertaining, so we don't have to worry about him. I've also been in touch with an intuitive business coach, and she works with your colors and your aura. Her name is Dr. Sandra Camacho. She's going to be coming on the show, so that's really exciting. And
is that like the chakras too? Is that like the whole chakras and colors?
Yes, all the energy and the healing, and this is like really great information. Stop laughing.
Oh, no. It was a chakra joke. Never mind. Never mind. Sorry.
All right, now you're going to have to share it.
No, because I'm blushing already, and that's not going to happen.
Okay,
I know a little bit about chakras.
All right, okay. And then we also have in the works, we just confirmed it today, Will Calhoun is a percussionist coach. Nice. And he is the drummer. He does his own solo career, but he's also the drummer for the band Living Color, who is so relevant with their music that they wrote 30 years ago. They are even more relevant now, perhaps.
Nice.
That's debatable, but that's who we've got coming up so far. But we've got plenty more, and I'm really excited. And I think that's all I have. We are almost at 7:50.
No, we're good. I don't even keep track of time anymore. So while you're excited about this, I'm excited too because I got a little nervous today, but because I wasn't getting a response, and finally my guest for tomorrow responded, and he's excited about being on my show tomorrow, and I'm like excited to have him on my show tomorrow. So tomorrow, please join. I'm gonna go on a heavy push when we get off for the next 24 hours. I'm gonna go real hard on it. I got a special guest, a good friend of mine, mentor, coach. Today, just reconfirmed that I'm a part of his team because, he's really pushing the whole identity leadership. And I had such an amazing conversation with him. So Stedman Graham is going to be joining us tomorrow live from his home in Santa Barbara. And it's just exciting. I just had that conversation a couple of hours ago. And So it's going to be a fun, like, just going to be fun because it's going to be one of those, like, we're really going to be able to talk about the leadership. And I told him I just wanted to kind of go over with him today, tomorrow's show. And I said, I want to get your perspective on what's going on today and how the world is changing very drastically and very quickly in where we're going. And he was open to it. Stedman is not a person that jumps on these types of, like, he was not a big, like, Facebook Live or any kind of stuff. He was very reserved a year and a half, 2 years ago when I first started doing business with him. Now the world has changed, that this has become, it's the new way of doing these types of talks. So he's going to talk about it because his perspective on it was very deep on it. So I'm excited to tomorrow, 7:00. We're gonna field some questions out, and I was able to also plant some seeds. There's some business opportunities that I want to share with him. I'm going to be taking a trip down to LA and meeting with him. But again, I don't want to give too much because I want to save it. I want everyone to tune back tomorrow and watch. And then I even threw it out in the universe. I said, you know what, my luck, Oprah's going to probably video bomb us, so we never know. You know, I mean, they live in the same home, and I've seen it because they've done it on their Instagram where, you know, he's talking about all of a sudden Oprah pops out of the background. So I threw it to the universe. I said, hey, this is what's gonna take the show to the next level. So very excited about tomorrow.
Well, and I've thrown it out to the universe because when we do our international, traveling think tank, that would be pretty incredible. So it's all in the works, guys. Thank you for hanging out with us. We really appreciate, especially everyone who joins us week after week. It shows us, it makes us it's not just about that you like us, because it seems like you do, but it's also about the fact that perhaps in some small ways we're able to help you and open up some possibilities for you. And that's what we're trying to do. That's it in a nutshell. We're trying to help. We're trying for all of us to thrive together. We will see you next week, 7:00 every Tuesday. Thanks, everybody.
Good night, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.